Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael, and welcome back to our reading of the all tongue-tied, to the Word of God. We are continuing in our study of Exodus, just getting into chapter 25, where Moses is taken up to Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights, where God speaks to Moses in regards to all the things that are to be done for the people and by the people of Israel. Um, Definitely a lot of information here and a lot of knowledge that's going to be gained into the way that things were set for the people of Israel, God's chosen people, um, and the things that He held them accountable for, to be righteous for His sake, for His glory. So many people think that their morality and their way of thinking is better than God's and like to revert back to the Old Testament in regards to killing and all these things. But what you have to understand is that back in this time when God had told people to conquer a city, it's because of the things that were going on in that city. It's because of the evils and the atrocities that the people were committing inside of that city. God knows what was going on there. And also, His ways are higher than our ways, and His righteousness is higher than ours. His morality is higher than ours. It's better than ours. And people like to bring, well, if God's also loving, then why doesn't He take the evil out of the world? And there's perfect reason for that. It's because of our free will. He doesn't want to take away our free will. He can't take away our free will, not because He can't, but because He won't. He's not a liar. He's not somebody that goes back on His word. He's not somebody that changes their mind like we as people tend to do all too often. So you have to remember this, and when you're thinking of these things, man, because of sin, is the reason why the world is evil and why evil things happen to people, to good people, which none of us are technically good. We're all sinners. We all fall short of the glory of God. We're all doomed for judgment because of the choices that we make. Man does these things to man. God allows it for a time period because of our free will. And He does not interfere with our free will. But God is also holy in His judgment. And because of that judgment, we're all condemned unless we repent, put our faith in Jesus Christ, remove the evil things with His help through Him. But so many people just can't take away that part of themselves. They can't humble themselves down. They can't put any kind of self-acknowledgement that they're also a reason for why that world is evil and why the world is the way that it is and their part in it. So with that being said, though, we're going to go ahead and continue on. We stopped at the end of chapter 4, like I said, where Moses is going up to Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights. So we'll be continuing on chapter 25, which is contributions for the sanctuary. And the Lord God said to Moses, "Speak to the people of Israel, that they take for me a contribution. From every man whose heart moves in him, you shall receive a contribution for me. And this is the contribution that you'll receive from them: gold, silver, and bronze, blue and purple and scarlet yarns, and fine twined linen, goats' hair, tanned rams, goat skins, acacia wood, oil for the lamps, spices for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incense, onyx stones and stones for setting, and for ephod and for the breastpiece. And let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell in their midst, exactly as I show you concerning the pattern of the tabernacle of all its furniture, so you shall make it." They shall make an ark of acacia wood. 2 cubits and a half shall it be its length, a cubit and a half its breadth, and a cubit and a half its height. You shall overlay it with pure gold, Inside and outside shall you overlay it, and you shall make on it a molding of gold around it. You shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them on its 4 feet, 2 rings on the one side of it, and 2 rings on the other side of it. You shall make poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold. And you shall put the poles into the rings of the sides of the ark, to carry the ark by them. The poles shall remain in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it. After you shall put into the ark of the testimony that I shall give you. You shall make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be its length, and a cubit and a half its breadth. And you shall make 2 cherubim of gold, of hammered work shall you make them, and on 2 ends of the mercy seat. Make 1 cherub on the one end, and 1 cherub on the other end. Of 1 piece with the mercy seat shall you make the cherubim and its 2 ends. The cherubim shall spread out their wings above, overshadowing the mercy seat. With their wings, their faces one to another. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubim be. And you shall put the mercy seat on the top of the ark, and in the ark you shall put the testimony that I shall give you. There I will meet with you, and from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim that are on the ark of the testimony, I will speak with you about all that I will give you in commandment of the people of Israel. You shall make a table of acacia wood. 2 cubits shall be its length, and a cubit its breadth, and a cubit and a half its height. You shall overlay it with pure gold, and make a molding of gold around it, and you shall make a rim around it of a handbreadth wide, and a molding of gold around the rim. And you shall make for it 4 rings of gold, and fasten the rings to the 4 corners at its 4 legs. Close to the frame and rings shall lie, as holders for the poles to carry the table. You shall make the poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, and the table shall be carried with these. And you shall make its plates and dishes for incense, and its flagons and bowls, which to pour drink offerings. You shall make them of pure gold, and you shall set the bread of the presence on the table before me regularly. You shall make a lampstand of pure gold. The lampstand will be made of hammered work. Its base, its stem, its cup, its calyxes, and its flowers shall be of 1 piece with it, and there shall be 6 branches going out of its side. 3 branches of the lampstand out of one side of it, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of the other side of it. 3 cups made like almond blossoms, each with calyx and flower on one branch, and 3 cups made like almond blossoms, each with calyx and flower on the other branch. So for the 6 branches going out of the lampstand, and on the lampstand itself, there shall be 4 cups made like almond blossoms with their calyxes and flowers, and a calyx of 1 piece with it under each pair of the 6 branches going out from the lampstand. Their calyxes and their branches shall be of 1 piece with it, the whole of it a single piece of hammered work of pure gold. You shall make 7 lamps for it, and the lamp shall be set up so to give light on the space in front of it. Its tongs and their trays shall be of pure gold. It shall be made with all these utensils out of the talent of pure gold, and see that you make them after the pattern of them, which is being shown you on the mountain. Chapter 26, the Tabernacle. Moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue and purple and scarlet yarns. You shall make them with the cherubim skillfully worked into them. The length of each curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the breadth of each curtain 4 cubits. All the curtains shall be the same size. 5 curtains shall be coupled to one another, and the other 5 curtains shall be coupled to one another. And you shall make loops of blue on the edge of the outermost curtain in the first set. Likewise, you shall make loops on the edge of the outermost curtain in the second set. 50 loops you shall make on 1 curtain, and 50 loops you shall make on the edge of the curtain that is in the second seat. The loops shall be opposite one another, and you shall make 50 clasps of gold, and couple the curtains one to the other with the clasps, so that the tabernacle may be a single whole. You shall also make curtains of goat's hair for a tent over the tabernacle. 11 curtains shall you make. The length of each curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of each curtain 4 cubits. The 11 curtains shall be the same size. You shall couple 5 curtains by themselves and 6 curtains by themselves, and the 6th curtain you shall double over at the front of the tent. You shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that it is outermost in one set, and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in the second set. You shall make 50 clasps of bronze, and put the clasps into the loops, and couple the tent together, that is maybe a single hole. And the part that remains of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remains, shall hang over the back of the tabernacle. And the extra that remains in the length of the curtains, the cubit on one side and the cubit on the other side, shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle, on this side and on that side, to cover it. And you shall make for the tent a covering of tanned ram skins and a covering of goat skins on top. You shall make upright frames of the tabernacle of acacia wood. 10 cubits shall be the length of a frame, and a cubit and a half the breadth of each frame. There shall be 2 tenons in each frame. For fitting together, so shall you do for all the frames of the tabernacle. You shall make the frames of the tabernacle 20 frames from the south side, and 40 bases of silver you shall make under the 20 frames. 2 bases under one frame for its 10 tenons, and 2 bases under the next frame for its 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle, on the north side, 20 frames. And there are 40 bases of silver, 2 bases under one frame, and 2 bases under the next frame. And for the rear of the tabernacle westward you shall make 6 frames, and you shall make 2 frames 4 corners of the tabernacle in the rear. They shall be separate beneath, but joined at the top at the first ring. Thus shall it be with both of them. They shall form the 2 corners, and there shall be 8 frames, with their bases of silver, 16 bases, 2 bases under one frame, and 2 bases under another frame. You shall make bars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames on the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the frames of the other side of the tabernacle, and the 5 bars for the frames of the side of the tabernacle at the rear westward. The middle bar halfway up the frame shall run from end to end. You shall overlay the frames with gold, and shall make the rings of gold for holders for the bars, and you shall overlay the bars with gold. Then you shall erect the tabernacle according to the plan that were shown on the mountain. And you shall make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet yarn and fine twined linen. It shall be made with cherubim skillfully worked into it. And you shall hang it on 4 pillars of acacia overlaid with gold, with hooks of gold on 4 bases of silver. And you shall hang the veil from the clasps. And bring the ark of the testimony in there within the veil, and the veil shall separate you from the holy place from the most holy. You shall put the mercy seat on the ark of the covenant, on the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. And you shall set the table outside the veil, and the lampstand on the south side of the tabernacle, opposite the table. And you shall put on the table on the north side. You shall make a screen for the entrance of the tent, of blue and purple and scarlet yarns and fine twined linen. Excuse me. Embroidered with needlework. And you shall make for the screen 5 pillars of acacia, and overlay them with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold, and you shall cast 5 bases of bronze for them. I have something, 1 second. I'll continue reading in a moment, but I want to. See here. Sorry, 1 second. Give you a rough depiction on the outside looking of it. This is a sketch drawing, but if you can see this is the tabernacle. So, there, and the tabernacle and the surroundings, just to give you kind of like an idea. I don't believe that it has anything on the inside, or any depictions on the inside. Yeah, no, because now the book's into Leviticus. But anyways, just to give you an idea, you can also do some research yourself. There's some great videos out there. One that I was recently watching with Jack Hibbs that gives or it was a documentary of something that went over like the inside of how everything looks like. If you really take a look, it's really good. Now let's see here. Yeah, 27. Sorry, I lost my place. So chapter 27, the bronze altar. You shall make the altar of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be square, and its height shall be 3 cubits. And you shall make horns for it on its 4 corners. Its horns shall be of one piece with it, and you shall overlay it with bronze. You shall make pots for it to receive its ashes, and shovels and basins, and the forks and the fire pans. You shall make all its utensils of bronze. You shall also make for it a grating, a network of bronze, and on the net you shall make 4 bronze rings at its 4 corners. And you shall set it under the ledge of the altar, so that the net extends halfway down the altar. And you shall make poles for the altars, poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with bronze. And the poles shall be put through the ring, so that the poles are on the 2 sides of the altar when it is carried. You shall make it hollow with boards, as has been shown you on the mountain, so shall it be made. The court of the tabernacle, verse 9. The court of the tabernacle. You shall make the court of the tabernacle. On the south side, the court shall have hangings of fine twined linen, and 100 cubits long for one side. Its 20 pillars and their 20 bases shall be of bronze, but the hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And likewise for its length on the north side, there shall be hangings 100 cubits long. Its pillars 20 and their bases 20. Of bronze, but the hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be silver. And for the breadth of the court on the west side there shall be a hanging for 50 cubits, with 10 pillars and 10 bases. The breadth of the court on the front of to the east shall be 50 cubits. The hangings for the one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and 3 bases. On the other side of the hanging shall be 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and 3 bases. For the gate of the court shall be a screen 20 cubits long, of blue and purple and scarlet yarns, and fine twined linen. Embroidered with needlework, it shall have 4 pillars, and with them 4 bases. All the pillars around the court shall be filleted with silver. Their hooks shall be of silver, and their bases of bronze. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, the breadth 50, and the height 5 cubits, with hangings of fine twined linen and bases of bronze. All the utensils of the tabernacle for every use and all its pegs, and all the pegs of the court shall be of bronze. You shall command the people of Israel that they bring to you pure beaten olive oil for the light, that a lamp may regularly be set up to burn in the tent of meeting outside the veil that is before the testimony. Aaron and his sons shall tend to it from evening to morning before the Lord. It shall be a statute forever to be observed throughout their generations by the people of Israel. All right, so that's going to end our reading this morning. Do again recommend that you take a look and a gander into how the tabernacle is set up. They got really good depictions out there in regards to how it looks, so that way you can get a visual aid of all of this if your mind is not setting it all up, because that was a lot of information on what they're supposed to be building and how they're supposed to be building it. And the way of their measurements and what things were called are different than how they're called right now. They all mean the same thing, they're just called something different. So I do highly recommend that you take a look into that. There's definitely a lot of information out there that you can get. But I do thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you all have a blessed day. Continue into the word of the Lord. Surrender. Be prayerful at all times, because he's coming. I do love you. God bless you. And I will see you next time.